Sport Club Handbook Guide to Practices. All club practices should be hosted on or in a university facility whenever possible. Non-university facilities are only justifiable when adequate university facilities are not available and/or external facilities are more financially appropriate. Clubs will request their practice times and facilities the semester prior via the WIN site. The club president will receive practice confirmations via the scheduling coordinator. Please read your confirmations carefully. We cannot guarantee that every single date that you request will be given to you. Priority for practice time and space will be allocated based on priority points, historical information, and the scope of practice requests. You must present your WIS card upon entering any of our indoor facilities. The faculty and staff must have a membership to enter these facilities as well. Memberships can be purchased at any rec sports facility, and there are various options available based on what your faculty or staff members might need. Your coaches and instructors must present their ID card provided by the Sport Club office whenever entering any of our facilities. They are only allowed access during scheduled practice times, and they are only allowed access to practice areas and the locker rooms. We have limited storage space available for clubs to store their equipment. You must provide a copy of all padlock keys and/or combinations to locks to the Sport Club office. Indoor storage facilities are only accessible during scheduled practice times. Please arrange special access in advance with your student coordinator if you need to get in at a time that you're not practicing. This is to protect your club's equipment and make sure that nothing gets stolen. Please keep storage areas neat and clean the areas regularly. Facility supervisors are on staff in all of our indoor rec sports facilities. Please build a good relationship with all the facility staff members inside and out. They are there to do a job, so please treat them with respect. You can request assistance for facility setup, accessing storage areas, maintenance issues, or emergency situations from any fac sup. Please provide adequate time for requests to be honored and arrive early to practices if it's needed. Facility supervisors. Keys for Far West restrooms may be checked out from the Nat Towel room. Be sure to check out keys early for events outside building hours. We are not open on football Saturdays, so keep this in mind if you have a special event. Competitive sports supervisors will check out keys during all special events. There's limited storage available at outdoor activity spaces to store your equipment, so please keep this in mind as well. We also have limited access to water and electricity, so plan accordingly. Supervisors can bring out water coolers to events if you request them in advance. Field linings must be requested at the time of reservation. Rec Sports will paint all fields prior to a season or to a special event. Clubs no longer must pre-lay out or paint their fields before we paint over them. You also must provide the correct field dimensions when you're requesting to have fields lined. Communicate with your student coordinator if lines become faded, and we will go out and make sure that the lines get reprinted. Clubs should not line their own fields unless they have discussed this with the sport club staff first. All participants must complete the membership consent form prior to participation. This form can be found on your club's individual WIN page under the Forms tab. Officers are encouraged to bring laptops to tryouts in the first week of practices to ensure that all members get the required forms filled out prior to the season. We also encourage you to complete your health waivers at the same time, as these are required. Conduct an inspection of facility and equipment prior to your practice. Please report any major concerns to the facility supervisor immediately. Any problems with lights, floors, or any other facility issues would fall in this category. If you are at an outdoor facility, please call your student coordinator if there are any major concerns. Report general concerns to the Sport Club office following practices. This would include field lines, time conflicts, or staffing issues. Practices and events should be canceled if the safety of all participants involved cannot be guaranteed. Practice etiquette. Arrive and leave at your designated times. Include your setup and your cleanup in your plans of when you're scheduling your practices the semester prior. Other clubs may have practice before or afterwards, and we cannot have them put behind by your schedule. Please leave the facility better than when you arrived. Respect must be given to the facilities, the staff, and other clubs that may be practicing around you. Violations of any of these above bullet points will not be tolerated, and Sport Club staff will take action. Please notify your student coordinator 72 hours in advance if your club will not have practice. Staff and lights do cost money, and another club may be able to use the facility. We also want you to think ahead if a potential member were to stop out at the fields thinking you have practice and you don't, how that would look and how that would build a reputation for your club. Please think ahead. Don't assume that we know. Just because you have an out-of-town tournament, a function, meeting, or fundraiser, or it's the end of the semester and your season is completed, doesn't mean that we know you won't be holding practices. Make sure to cancel these ahead of time. Lack of notification may result in the loss of privileges and financial repercussions. Inclement weather. As stated in the Safety Coordinator PowerPoint, we take inclement weather very seriously. Considerations will be made for participant safety and the preservation of our fields. Staff will make every attempt to notify your club in the event of canceling practice. We do so by 3:30 p.m. the day of. Please check the weather hotline for updates if you're ever unsure of whether or not practice will be held. A reminder about the 30-30 rule for lightning. 30 seconds between lightning flash and the sound of thunder means that you should stop play for at least 30 minutes. Our on-site supervisors will make decisions to postpone or cancel all special events whenever they are present. Staff may occasionally visit your practices to help with consent forms on WIN, assist with any club concerns, generally observe your club activities and practices, and enforce our departmental policies. They will also verify eligibility and ask for WIS cards to be presented to make sure that all members of your club are university students. We have the authority to cancel practice, whether it be for weather, facility conditions, or abuse or misuse. Clubs practicing off campus must provide practice schedules to sport club staff. Clubs fall subject to policies and procedures of rented spaces, even if they aren't in our facilities. Be sure to learn emergency protocols for any facility you may be practicing in. The sport club office does reserve the right to restrict practices off campus if it is needed.